everyone. So tonight I saw a meme on Facebook that made me want to talk about Hogwarts houses. I chose this topic because generally I hate the two-dimensional way that Hogwarts houses are portrayed in the likes of memes. Gryffindors are just show-offs and jocks. Slytherins are all evil and angsty. Ravenclaws are all bookish and socially awkward. And Hufflepuffs are either forgotten about or just obsessed with food. Now don't get me wrong, there's some memes I absolutely do like the one that says that all Hogwarts sorting hat quizzes are like, how do you brush your teeth in the morning? Bravely, intelligently, loyally, I'm a snake. And My Life as a Background Slytherin is the best webcomic out there in my opinion, and it's the only one I still regularly read. But generally the two-dimensional nature of memes, fanfics and headcanon really annoy me. Now, one Slytherin friend of mine did point out that the idea of houses at all is completely two-dimensional, and the idea of everybody fitting into four broad personalities with little to no nuance is ludicrous, but it works for the narrative and it sells merchandise. And she's absolutely right. But the people writing these fanfics and making these memes are generally coming from a place of living within the wizarding world, if you like. So from that perspective, let's talk about it. Slytherins are all evil and angsty. Not true. Now, there are obviously a certain element of people who claim to be Slytherin because it's edgy or dark, but most of the actual Slytherins that I know aren't like that. They're Slytherins because they're ambitious and they're driven, and these are perfectly good characteristics to have. Most of the leaders we've had throughout history we wouldn't have had if it wasn't for ambition and drive and vision. So if you can focus those traits well, Slytherin isn't evil, it's great, and that's what they're about. Also, Merlin was a Slytherin. Merlin. In fact, the ribbon on the medal you get with an Order of Merlin First Class is green as recognition of Merlin's own Hogwarts house. Gryffindors are all boisterous and show-offy jocks. Not true. Now everybody knows that Gryffindor is associated with bravery, and when it comes to the likes of a meme, that easily translates into a nice little box of being a boisterous show-off, but that's not what all bravery is about. Bravery doesn't have to be charging into battle and killing a giant snake with a sword. I asked Siobhan from Dublin WizardCon what she felt made her a Gryffindor, and she said probably her bravery, determination and courage. When Siobhan was 19, she moved to the other side of the world. When she was in America, she didn't have any friends or family out there to support her, and she rightly says that most 19-year-olds probably wouldn't have the bravery to do that. Now, that might not be fighting in the Battle of Hogwarts, but it's definitely a bravery that's true to life and more relatable for most people. Siobhan is definitely not a two-dimensional Gryffindor. Hufflepuffs are either obsessed with food because they live beside the kitchens, or they're stoners because they like herbology. Not true. Hufflepuffs are some of the nicest and most loyal people you'll meet. I asked my friend Marie what she felt made her a Hufflepuff, and she said probably her attitude that taking part is more important than winning. She also said that she thinks Hufflepuffs are more about enjoying things for what they are rather than what they can get you. Kind of a ask not what your country can do for you sort of thing. After hearing that, I asked, do you think JFK was a Hufflepuff? She said no, Hufflepuffs wouldn't be president. But whoever wrote his speech probably was. Incidentally, Hengist of Woodcroft, who founded Hogsmeade, was a Hufflepuff. Ravenclaws are all bookish and socially awkward. Not true. I find what people tend to forget about Ravenclaws is their creativity. Yes, they study, but it's not necessarily just knowledge for the sake of knowledge. They're not always just crammed in a corner, not able to talk to somebody because they've got their nose in a scientific journal. Not that there's anything wrong with studying science. When I first got started on Pottermore, I was Ravenclaw. Basically, I took the test a few different times in a few different accounts, and it was Ravenclaw, Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Gryffindor. And I thought to myself, am I really a Ravenclaw? I'm not constantly studying, I'm not always stuck in a book. I like to socialise. Then I thought, well, I am quite witty. But is that the kind of wit that they were talking about? Or would it take a Ravenclaw to think outside the box and realise that was the kind of wit they were talking about? I genuinely had an unnecessary identity crisis. But when I looked into it more and the creativity of Ravenclaw kind of presented itself to me, I thought, yeah, no, I'm totally a Ravenclaw. In fact, when I went to Dublin WizardCon, I was volunteering there, this con just gone, The vast majority of the volunteers there, I assumed, would be Gryffindor because Gryffindors are everywhere, but they were Slytherins and Ravenclaws, and I realised the only way an event like that could have ever taken place is with the creativity of a Ravenclaw and the ambition of a Slytherin. Also, my friend Rachel on Instagram, who is one of the nicest Ravenclaws you'll ever meet, she taught herself calligraphy and how to run her own business. She's the perfect example of when you take somebody who wants to learn stuff and then they can find something they're interested in, they devote their time to that and they try to learn as much about that subject as they can, which is why Ravenclaws are, one, known for studying, and two, known for being eccentric because they're so focused in their one area. As for Ravenclaws being socially awkward and not wanting to mingle, the attack on Godric's Hollow, where Voldemort killed Harry Potter's parents and lost his powers, happened on October 31st, 1981. After this, the wizarding world tended to naturally celebrate, and some people were worried that they were getting a bit too boisterous and were close to breaking the Statute of International Secrecy. When this was pointed out to the powers that be, the response was, "I assert our inalienable right to party." That came from Millicent Bagnold, the Minister for Magic at the time, and a Ravenclaw. Anyway, that's it for tonight, everyone. It's actually super late, and even though I'm off tomorrow, I still need to be up early, so I'm going to go to bed as soon as I edit and upload this video. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on the whole thing. Leave your Hogwarts house down below, and let me know what you think about how you're part of that house and how that house speaks to you, and how you feel about other people looking at your house in the most stereotypical view possible. Also, I mentioned some friends from Dublin WizardCon in this video. Dublin WizardCon was the most fun I had over one weekend last summer, and tickets are on sale for Dublin WizardCon 2020 now. I'll leave a link to that in the description down below. If you're in Dublin at the end of May, I think, definitely check it out. It's well worth it. But that's it for now, everyone. So until tomorrow, bye.